How You Get Done TV has this to say about me. This guy is a douche. Jacko Marilyn, who has a little picture of a woman or a man dressed like a woman, says never buy a used car from someone who dresses like the dude in this video. 93 Blazing Fire. I think I'm going to be sick. Mr. Ding, you look like Jango Fett from Star Wars. Do I? Christopher D.H. Sorry, but this is stupid information. Peter Thiel writes in his book that he never hired persons who were wearing a suit. 7 Earth Sky, you talk weird. You're more like a cult leader to retards than anything important. Gentlemen, Antonio here. All right, today we're going to get into 10 tips that you can use today to effectively deal with criticism. How to deal with haters, how to deal with trolls, with people that are going to attack you, try to bring you down to their level. And gentlemen, that's the key point there, is that throughout life, you're going to be attacked by people who feel threatened when you're going out there and you're trying to lead, you're trying to raise others to your level. There are many people very comfortable where they're at. They don't like the idea that somebody out there is shaking things up, trying to make a difference in the world. And for them, it's very easy. It's almost like a defensive mechanism to go out there and to throw out unfair criticism, to attack you. You're going to see this happen to you at work. It's going to happen to you in your personal life. Sometimes it's going to be very painful. And hopefully you can use these 10 tips to be able to make it through those times. So I want to say I'm going to support this with a great article over at Real Men Real Style. In addition, in this article, I'm going to have a letter for you. This is an attack letter that I received. The guy, he went point for point. I was really surprised. Almost 1,000 words, and he went into a lot of detail as to why I am a complete bag of he wanted to say that I need to get a clue that I'm racist as and yeah, he had a lot of very interesting, colorful things to say to me. The point is, I get attacked. I know what it's like. And if you're going to get up there and speak in front of your class, you're going to talk in front of your group at work. If you're going to have people talk behind your back. You're going to have people tell you very, tough things straight to your face. How do you deal with this? Take these 10 tips, use them effectively, and go out there, make a difference. So, tip number 1, gentlemen, understand your why. I've said this before. If you understand your why, you understand what you stand for, you believe in yourself, then it doesn't matter what the world throws at you, how windy it gets in in this cold, dark place, sometimes that we feel that we're at, you're going to be able to stand up and continue to move forward. Even sometimes when you don't know exactly where you're going. Your inner critic is your worst critic. And if you can silence your inner critic, you're going to be able to do amazing things with your life. Point number 2 is expect to be attacked if you are going to take a stand. Anyone that goes out there and tries to make a difference in this world is going to have somebody, for some reason, attack them. Doesn't matter who you are. If you are out there trying to cure cancer, you're going to have somebody attack you. If you are, Mother Teresa was attacked. I mean, you look back at all of the great figures throughout history, they had people that were attacking them, trying to bring them down. So understand, if you're being attacked, it's probably because maybe you're onto something big, and continue to go, especially if you know point 1, you understand your why. Point number 3 is look at it as a rite of passage. So this has to do with a lot of your mental framework, but think about a diamond. A diamond is exposed to extreme heat and extreme pressure for thousands of years. The point is you're going through that transformation if you're looking to take a stand in the world. So understand that it's a rite of passage. So point number 4, are they right? Is their criticism actually justified? You need to objectively look at yourself. I don't know, how often, maybe 2 months, once a year, every couple years, but objectively look at yourself when you receive good, constructive criticism and ask, does this person have a point? Again, you can verify, that this is what I stand for, and they're wrong for criticizing me this way, then you can move forward. But sometimes criticism is a great reason for us to stop and to relook at ourselves. Point number 5, understand it could be them. not you at all. So I've talked about trolls. Trolls, they've actually shown that a lot of these people actually have a mental disorder, that they actually get off. It feels really good for them to attack people. They feel it doesn't have any effect and that they can just do this. It's an entertainment. Some people just like to start online fights. And it's something that when you understand that some of these people are mentally unstable, that for some reason they just, maybe something happened in their lives. Understand that people are human beings and sometimes it has nothing to do with you. It is simply to do with them. Point number 6, are they qualified to even criticize? So I've had people with PhDs criticize my website and go into all this detail about the way I'm running things and how I should change this. When it comes down to it, that's cool that you've got a PhD in economics or that you're a nuclear physicist, but when it comes down to it, you are not necessarily qualified to tell me how to run a website. Now, I understand this is a smart person and they've got their strong opinions, but sometimes these people, they don't necessarily have all of the facts to actually make an informed decision. So point number 7 is to understand their point of view. This is you actually taking a step back, putting yourself in their shoes and saying, you know what? Okay, this guy, we're not going to agree here, but I can understand where he's coming from. This happens all the time, especially in politics. Whenever we're looking at who votes for who as a business owner, I have things that are very important to me. Scott Walker, governor here in Wisconsin, a lot of people don't like him. A lot of those people, I understand because he cuts their programs. They lose jobs because of the government programs that he has decided to cut. And if you're a government employee, I have to say, you know what? I see your point of view. Now, I don't have to agree with that as a business owner. I have other things I'm concerned about, but it's one of those things, put yourself in their point of view and have a bit of empathy for their plight, for what they're trying to get across. So point number 8, respond on your terms. Now, oftentimes, and I think a great example is the letter that Abraham Lincoln never sent to General Meade. And this was dated July 14th, 1863. This was right after he let Lee escape, and Lincoln is just fuming because he felt that the war could have ended at that point if Meade had just pursued and had destroyed the enemy. Instead, he didn't. So Lincoln had this habit of actually writing out a letter, putting it in his desk, and never sending it. So for me, if I'm upset with a person, if I've got something going on, I often choose, I'm going to sleep on it. I'm not going to respond immediately. Another point to think about when responding on your terms is, do you even want to respond at all? Oftentimes we ignore comments or we ban them if they're attacking people in our community or if they're saying something that we classify as hate speech. But understand that you can choose not to even respond. So point number 9 is to insulate yourself. One of the easiest things that you can do in email is actually filter out. So if somebody is using negative words, cuss words, there are certain things that you can look for and you can choose to, I don't want to receive emails from this person. I'm going to basically blacklist them. I want to block them out. Me personally, I found that they were starting to bring me down. So that's why I implemented that. Point number 10, you always have the freedom to choose how you are going to react in a situation. There's a great book out there, Viktor Frankl, Man's Search for Meaning, or something to that effect. In any case, he was in Auschwitz. He was in a basically concentration camp, and he talked about how even when they had taken away everything from him, he still had the freedom to choose how he reacted to the situation. Gentlemen, don't let criticism, don't let haters, don't let trolls ruin your day. Make sure that you approach this, you remove emotion, and you say, you know what? If there's nothing constructive to take out of this, I'm just going to ignore it. I'm going to delete it, and I'm going to enjoy my day. I'm not going to let these guys drag me down. I'm not going to let them win. Gentlemen, like I said, I go into more details here in the article, and I've got a fun little letter for you over there. I'm also going to link to a few resources where you can learn more about this. And guys, I would love to hear from you down in the comments on how you deal with criticism, especially if you think I missed something in this video. Take care. See you in the next video. It is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong stumbles or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes up short again and again, because there is no effort without error and shortcoming. But who does actually strive to do the deeds? Who knows great enthusiasms, the great devotions, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at the best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who neither know victory nor defeat.